This is a plant-based medication. It's now almost 90 years, and we haven't done the appropriate investigation and research into this plant to do the right thing. Now, it's been done.
But why?
Because of ridiculousness. Let's make sure, I've been on here and talked about this before. The truth of the matter is, marijuana was never made illegal because of any kind of a drug attitude. It was made illegal because of the Marijuana Tax Act.
Montel Williams here in the studio with us. Before we went to break, I asked you a question, and that is, you talk about how the government has the patent on...
Not only does it have the patent, the government has, every single year when there's a budget passed, this Congress and Senate, every one of them, remember, it's all Republican now, okay? Every one of them signs a bill to pass the budget, and in the budget, it continues the funding to the program in the University of Mississippi, and it's never stopped.
All right, so
they're
how can...
all dealing drugs.
Okay, so how can Jeff... The question I asked you was, how can then Jeff Sessions says that there's no medicinal value, and so therefore the federal government under his Justice Department is talking about cracking down on states that have legalized it in any way?
Then I think there's a couple of ways to actually approach this. One is make sure that we understand, and again, I started to say this, the world... This whole idea of alternative truth, listen, Christopher Columbus did sail around the world. It's not flat, okay? Mm-hmm. And as clear as that is, it is as clear as what's going on when it comes to cannabis in this country. I want you to do me a favor. Please, Brian, do this.
Okay.
Go up online and Google Harry Anslinger. Harry Anslinger. Anslinger was the guy who actually pushed as hard as you could to get the Marijuana Tax Act passed back in 1939. Anslinger, on the steps of our Congress, stated unequivocally, we need to end and ban the scourge of marijuana because it makes white women want to have sex and fornication with Negro.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is why it's illegal.
That's why it's illegal.
What I want to do is play that to Jeff Sessions. And there's a lot of things we need to do. Because, number one, if they really come at this way, then we as citizens in this country, 85% of them stated unequivocally that people should stay out of the conversation between a doctor and a patient. And right now, the latest poll, 60% of Americans believe that marijuana should be made legal nationally. Mm-hmm. So, if Sessions wants to play this, I believe that there are things that we, the people, get to do that we can hold them responsible for the fact that they have been discriminatorily holding back the same care that they have paid for and given to others for 47 years and denied other patients the same access. And when we go back and look at it, the original 20, there was nobody who was a minority. I'm sorry.
Let's, before we run out of time, I want to be sure that I mention your event. You're taking part in an event called Harvest on Geary. So I'm assuming that it's pot on Geary Street.
It's the Harvest Dispensary on Geary Street. And I'm going to be there
7 to 9:30.
7 to 9:30 tomorrow because I've launched my product line, which is called Lenitiv Labs. And I've launched a particular product line that I've now been working on for 17 years. Mm-hmm. And it is probably one of, I think, the purest oils that you can find in the marketplace right now. We're doing a supercritical CO2 extraction with a double distillation. And what we're doing by that is we've made an oil that is now vaporable and edible. And a lot of people understand what I'm talking about, will understand that. It is edible and not edible like the other stuff in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. But we'll enjoy the taste. But what you can do is you can also smoke it, you can vape it, you can dab it. We've taken that oil as our Pentium processor, and I'm now going to be infusing that in multiple vertical different delivery systems. One that's in the market right now that'll be a Geary is going to be our shots. I have a 1.5 ounce drink that can be infused with our oil. And I'm going to tell you the difference.
And you shoot it.
Well, you pop a cap by pushing a little button. It drops in this medium, one of the most efficacious, highly nutrient concentrated food product that mixes with the cannabinoid, and you drink it as a single shot. It gives you 20 or 50 milligrams of our ratio. And let me tell you the reason why our oil is so special. I'm one of the only oils in the entire marketplace that has an oil that is, I'm going to give you some numbers, and those who are listening will understand. The first number is the THC number.
Right.
The second number will be the CBD number. I have a 10-90, a 30-70, a 50-50, a 70-30, and a 95-5. That's 10% THC, 90% CBD, 30% THC, 70%.
All the way up to 95%
all the way
THC.
up opposite direction. Now, why? That allows patients like myself to be able to titrate at the level that they need, but each one of those formulations has a different terpene configuration that helps the rapidity in which it affects different illnesses, different